Welcome to the Illinois Girls Wrestling Podcast, the show that's all about empowering, informing, and celebrating the growing community of girls wrestling in Illinois. We are wrestling parents. My name is Lena, and this is
Alex.
We have 3 kids, and we have been around the world of wrestling since, I don't know, about since 2019.
I think 19 was the first year that we got in it.
Well, why are we here today?
Today we're tackling a big question. Do we really need a podcast like this? I think the answer to that question is yes.
My personal opinion, as a mom of a girl who wrestles, girls wrestling has been growing with a crazy speed in Illinois, and there is just so much to learn. And I'm also seeing that there are so many families that are new to wrestling and often find this sport intimidating. And I'm not talking about wrestling families where brothers wrestle. I'm talking about families where nobody wrestles. How do we tell these parents, hey, I think your girl might like to wrestle?
Well, that's actually an interesting angle because we're wearing the same shoes when you're trying to understand a lot of things coming at you from all different directions. Like, what's the difference between freestyle and folkstyle? How to read this board and that event. So there's a lot of information that is just had it at you, and you have no idea what to do with it.
And don't forget the bullpen.
Well, then there's that.
Then, the beauty of track wrestling too. Well, beyond that, even if we take the technical aspects aside, how does one navigate the community as a newcomer, the wrestling community? And I think this is why we are here. We want to create a community in this space where people can come and ask questions.
Well, within the last few years, Illinois' participation in girls specifically, in girls wrestling doubled, if not more. And all things considered, it's not stopping anywhere anytime soon. So having lots of people know a little bit or hear a little bit there just helps when everybody shares something.
And the statistics is there. In 2022, there were 903 high school girl wrestlers. And I think in 2024, that number was 2,680.
That's more than double.
That is sort of kind of crazy. And it's very interesting to see how the sport advances and how fast it's growing. However, with a rapid growth like this, also comes the learning curve. Unlike the boys' programs, the resources for the girls might be hard to find. Those are the kind of questions that we can answer as well.
Well, with any kind of luck, that's what we're trying to achieve here is going to provide a platform of sorts so people can share information more openly, and anybody new to the sport, parents or athletes for that matter, will get a better grip and much quicker than otherwise when you start searching Google and other places for any bits of information to help you navigate through the sport.
I think also over the years we found out that wrestling opportunities vary by state.
Well, that's true.
And I think we want to focus on Illinois specifically, and where we can provide specific insights regardless if it comes to IHSA regulations, local tournaments, IKWF regulations at tournaments, and just stories of wrestlers that live, around here. It might be wrestlers who are just fantastic and everyone knows them, or it could be the beginners who have questions. And I'm also, as a parent, if I just start searching, I can see things about girl wrestlers in Indiana or Iowa or Ohio. And I'm not really seeing the same information that's widely available here in our state.
Well, the ISSA sanctioned the girls division, if I remember right, 2022, With that said, information is coming from them in some shape, but it's kind of, I mean, year by year it's more and more and more, but it's still bits and pieces at the moment, and you have to do a separate research and put some time and effort to find those bits of information. In some cases, you can even find them until you experience them and get to bump your head into them at the tournament or another event of some sort.
Well, even when it comes to rules, the rule changes from years to years. And for
True.
those of you who are new, it might be difficult, even for those of us who have been in wrestling for a while, just going from the 2-point takedowns to the 3-point takedowns. That was a major change, but you add, freestyle to it, and that's just a lot. We want to bring wrestlers on this podcast that can answer some questions. Maybe we will learn from them what inspired them to start wrestling, maybe quit the sport that they were in, and why. For example, our daughter, she was a swimmer, and she swam for years. She was a flyer on her high school team. That's when she joined the brand new wrestling team at the Wheeling High School. And by the beginning of the sophomore year, she decided that wrestling is the only sport she wants to concentrate on. She went in there full force. She has worked on it during the season in the off season.
Right.
She definitely has progressed leaps and bounds.
Well, all this experience is essentially so the girls who are going through sports, because right now a lot of faces out there that are essentially a staple of girls wrestling keep showing up. The Olympics, the World Series, all these girls at some point of time were wrestling, and at that point of time they weren't even sanctioned. So experiences that that they had would be a valuable piece to essentially any parent, any athlete, to avoid learning it on their own.
I would also like to eventually talk about topics. Where do you go after school?
Yeah, because this is actually an interesting topic, widely discussed. So high school wrestling, then college wrestling, and then what? So there are a lot of avenues that have been presented in this particular realm, and not everybody knows it. So it'd be an interesting subject to discuss later.
Yeah, but even, do you have to go to college to continue wrestling? What else can we cover in this podcast?
What to buy, what not to buy. This is probably one of the most interesting subjects.
Here is a quick crash course of wrestling basics for families that are brand new, because we know the season is starting now. And if you want to know very quickly what you need, and what you need to know before you just step on the mat for the very first time, here it is. Freestyle versus folkstyle. Folkstyle is a high school sport and a college sport, and freestyle is an international sport. Your child going into the season right now will be doing folkstyle, regardless if he is in club wrestling, middle school, or high school wrestling. Freestyle comes in place in the off season. Let's talk essential gear. Alex, I know you're the gear man.
Right.
What do you need?
You need shoes, you need headgear, you need a singlet. You might or might not need knee pads.
Start without it.
But that's about it.
You will go to the tournaments because you do not want to just go to practice and not go to tournaments. When it comes to tournaments, and your kid is not in high school, if you're an IKWF or, we're talking youth wrestling, this is
IESA?
IESA is a middle school wrestling, right. But the club wrestling, you will be giving out your weekend time. You will be going to the tournaments. You will be spending a lot of time at the tournaments. You will have to learn how to read the brackets, and you will become a professional by the end of the season. Just think about it that, yes, you will have to take a child to the tournament. Anything else do you feel like we need to know about wrestling before we say goodbye for now?
There's a lot of things I want to say about wrestling before we break out for now, but for the moment, It'll be a time investment. You'll have some fun with any kind of like a kid will love it. And remember that wrestling is, especially at the younger age, it's so much more than wins or losses. At this point of time, you're going to be building kids' confidence. It's going to be building kids' resilience. It's going to be testing his self-discipline. So there is going to be a curve for everybody, parents and athletes even included.
And if we're talking about girls wrestling, we are talking about breaking stereotypes and proving that the girls are strong enough and smart enough and powerful enough to be a moving force in this sport. So we're going back to the same question we asked in the beginning. Do we need this podcast? I'd say the answer is yes. Right, Alex?
But with that said, we still want to hear from you. So
message us. Subscribe to this podcast so you know when we publish the next episode, and share it with other wrestling families, especially families that are new or maybe families that are considering wrestling as their sport. And if you would like to be a guest on our podcast, let us know. We are looking for the stories from the wrestlers, insights from the coach, or, professionals. I think that's it for now. We are looking forward to meeting you, to talking to you again soon. I'm Lena.
This is Alex.
And let's build something together. Bye.
Bye.